What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today, have I got some awesome One Piece TCG news for you. The answer is, of course, yes. I do have some awesome One Piece TCG news for you. Oh, I adore this, ladies and gentlemen. I absolutely adore this. You see, over on Twitter, they went and announced basically, hey, thanks, like One Piece Red, the film that has been crushing. Apparently it's still out in Japan. So what they're basically doing is doing a last little promotion to celebrate the end of the theatrical run. Now, part of it are these cards you can get on the right. Nobody really cares. We're not talking about that. Part of it, however, is another promotional set to celebrate the film. Now, remember, we've already seen a promotional deck being given out for the One Piece Red over in Japan. We had the Uta deck, which was given out over in Japan when you went to see the movie. I did manage to get a hold of this deck. It is amazing. And essentially, it's just an entire deck with Uta as the leader, which is very much themed after the One Piece Red movie. And it's literally like you get this giant booster pack with an entire deck in, and it's absolutely brilliant. They have obviously started to be released in English now as well, but that's not relevant to the conversation we're having today, because today we're talking about it as a promotional thing for going to see the movie over in Japan. Well, it's happening again. Only this time, they're all reprints, and I don't know how I feel about this. Because on the one hand, reprints are a whole lot less special, boo hiss, etc. On the other hand, I am collecting Japanese promos, but I'm being a good boy about it, so I don't become completely bankrupt. I'm collecting numbered Japanese promos. So I had to pick up one of the Uta decks that was originally the promo for this film, because the cards in there are numbered promos. I don't need to pick this up, because they're not numbered promos. But just because I don't need it for my promo collection does not mean I am not going to be picking this up. Because, oh my word, ladies and gentlemen, these are absolutely stunning and I absolutely love them. Now, you can see there on the screen that they're going to start off on the 21st of January, that is next week, and they're going to go until they're gone, basically until the distribution ends. So, yeah, if you're over in Japan, go and get these. Incidentally, if you're over in Japan and you go and get these and you want to make a trade with your old pal Wossie, I would be very, very happy about this. I'm sure I'll be able to find them somewhere, but if anyone wants to make my life easier and trade me one of these, I would be absolutely delighted. But what actually are they? Well, basically what we've got are 12 cards, all of which are red, all of which feature characters that are in the One Piece Red movie, all of which are reprints of existing cards, I'm pretty sure that's true, and all of which have that same kind of pencil-drawn style. They're just stunning. And this is one of those things, like, if you are a One Piece fan, or a One Piece TCG fan, I refuse to believe that anyone can look at these and not have the reaction of, I want them, I want them, I want them, I want them, I want them. Because, come on, obviously you want them. So what have we actually got here? Well, we've got ourselves the Uta that came around in Romance Dawn. This is your 4-cost, 4,000 power add-on play. Return up to one red character card other than Uta with a cost of 3 or less from your trash to your hand. Cool. Nice little card. We've got the Jinbei from Romance Dawn. This is the one that is a blocker. And on X1, on block, play up to one red character card with a cost of 2 or less from your hand. So again, another kind of cool card. We've got the Nico Robin from Romance Dawn. Dawn X1, when attacking, KO up to one of your opponent's characters of 3,000 power or less. Great for taking out those pesky low-cost blockers, as a nice little example here. We've got ourselves, I want to say Frankie. Of course it's Frankie, I can read it. It's Frankie from Romance Storm. And we've got Don X1. This character can also attack your opponent's active characters. I mean, as soon as we had that rule that you couldn't attack active characters, we knew that some were going to be able to break it. But it's still cool to see that coming in. Now, we've got the Shanks here. There was a promo. It was actually a promo in the Uta deck. That's where it initially came from. It's just a vanilla character, which means 8 costs, 10,000 power, counter plus 1,000. Vanilla characters always have a power 2 more than the cost, etc. But that's not the point. It is an extremely cool looking card, and it's one you should be moderately excited about. We have got ourselves a Monkey D. Luffy. I mean, look, we had to get a Monkey D. Luffy, didn't we, ladies and gentlemen? And it is actually another one that was from that Uta deck initially. So 4 cost, 6,000 power, counter plus 1,000, vanilla. Remember that the Lita Uta was actually really interesting, because activate main once per turn, pay 1, up to one of your characters without effects gains 2,000 power during this turn. So actually kind of having this with a vanilla deck is really rather cool. I like it. It's not a new Luffy. The point isn't that it's a new Luffy. Like I've said, none of these cards are new. That's not the point. The point isn't, hey, look at all these cool new cards. No, no, no. The point is, look at the amazing artwork. So Usopp's coming back here. This is the one from the starter deck. And we've got 2 cost, 2,000 power, Don X1. When attacking, your opponent cannot activate blocker of 5,000 or higher power characters during this turn. So their big blockers can't come in. And as a trigger, you play the card, which is quite nice because it means you don't have to pay. And it's always nice to get cards on the board without paying. We've then got the Sanji from the starter deck. For some reason, Sanji lately is getting a bunch of new cards, or, alternate arts. 2 cost, 4,000 power, Don X2, this character gains Rush. It's a pretty decent card, Rush is always good, so yeah, sounds good to me. We've got ourselves Tony Chopper. Now, this is the one from the starter deck, but this is, by my count, the 4th different print of this card we've seen. It's a 1-cost blocker. And if you've been playing the game by now, you will know, a lot of the time, you just want a blocker. And it doesn't matter if your blocker survives or not. I mean, you'd rather it did, but it doesn't really matter. And you just want a blocker that's going to be cheap to get into play. This is your 1-cost red blocker. We've seen it reprinted a bunch. And I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say, I don't think this is the last reprint we're going to see of this Tony Chopper. Everybody loves this card. And why not? Now, we couldn't have this without Nami unless Nami wasn't in the film. We've got the Nami here from the starter deck. Activate main once per turn, give your leader or one of your characters 1 rested Don card, which is, I love this skill, I absolutely adore this skill, because the idea that I can use my Don to pay for cards and then attach them anyway when I'm usually supposed to be having to make a choice between either using them to pay or attaching, love it. So this is one that is making me rather happy. Cool card, cool character. We've got, is that Brooke? Am I remembering that right? Yeah, it's Brooke. And we've got on play, again, I can just read the card. On play, give your leader or one of your characters 2 rested Don cards. So kind of like Nami, but it's an on play, not an every turn thing. And also it's one of them what's got counter plus 2,000. It is a very cool card that I've seen popping up in some deck lists, because it's a very cool card. And then obviously we need to have Roanoa Zoro. Not that one. It is actually the designated super rare from the starter deck, although I don't believe it's got the super rare foiling this version. I could be wrong, but I don't believe it does. And this is the one, Don X1. This character gains 1,000 power. Obviously, what we really want, what would be amazing, is if this was the Roanoa Zoro from Romance Dawn, the one that's got Rush. That would be awesome if we could get that as a promo card for going to the movies. That was never going to be the case. I mean, to be fair, that was also a super rare, but there is a difference between a designated super rare in a starter deck and an actual super rare from a set. I think that's fair to say. I want to get to the stage where I can go to the movies in the UK and just be given like a literal deck or pack of One Piece cards. I'm going to probably try and import this because, oh my word, I adore the artwork on this. And honestly, right, if you're a One Piece fan, you should also adore the artwork on this. Like, if you like this, what am I calling it? The brand, the property, the IP, you should love this. And I do. And I do. So this is very cool. You know the deal at this stage. You know, one of the questions you guys are going to ask straight off the back of this is, all right, Wassy, are we getting these cards in English? And the answer's going to be yeah. Because when these cool cards are released in Japanese, We always have this, and this happens in Digimon as well, which is another game made by Bandai, the same company. And we always get this question of, well, are we getting these cards in Japanese? And the answer I always give you is, I don't know how, but at some point we will, we always do. And then inevitably we do. With the Utrecht, we didn't know when it was coming, we didn't know how it was coming, etc. Oh, look, it came along. Of course it did. It always does. So there's nothing worth worrying about in that regard, ladies and gentlemen. We know we're going to be getting them. It's just a matter of when and how. Maybe they're going to be a box topper promotion. Maybe it's going to be a tournament pack. I don't know. But at some point we're going to get them, and I, for one, am absolutely delighted. Because, seriously, you go to the movies and you get this pack of cards. It's not fair. Never mind, ladies and gentlemen. Never mind. Also, shout out to One Piece Red, because that film has been in the cinema in Japan for ages, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, it's doing pretty well. Apparently One Piece is quite big in Japan. Who knew? For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about these cards. I want to know which one's your favourite. I want to know if you care about promotions like this. And I want to know how jealous you are. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and chat with us about various things. It really is a lot of fun over there. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.